Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Eric Spoelstra, Bam Adebayo praise Heat's secret weapon after Pelicans' loss. While there was not many bright sides to Friday night's loss for the Miami Heat as they fell to the New Orleans Pelicans, 111-88, there was one that was the limited minutes for forward Cole Swider. With Duncan Robinson out the past 2 games and possibly for the foreseeable future, Swider saw his first action against New Orleans and could very well see more as Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra and star Bam Adebayo gave their thoughts on how he performed. Swider came into the game in the second quarter where the Heat were shooting dreadfully from three-point range as by that time, they only made 2 of their 19 attempts from that range. He would make his first 2 shot attempts from deep. That was eye-opening. While the 2 players are different in a lot of ways, the 24-year-old is trying to fill the void of the aforementioned Robinson who excels at shooting from beyond the arc. He even just made history on March 17 against the Detroit Pistons, where he became the fastest player in NBA history to drain 1,000 made three-pointers in 343 games, passing Buddy Hield. It's a big hole to fill, but in any sense, Spoelstra was impressed with Swider who would finish the game with 14 points, making 4 of his 6 attempts from deep. He said that with all the development he's been doing in practice and time with the Heat's G League team with the Sioux Falls Skyforce, he's earned these kinds of opportunities. It's not an easy role to come in there to see there's been a bunch of missed shots. I have come in there and I have to make the longest shot in this game. That's not an easy deal, Spoelstra said. But he's really worked at things, as part of development, and then all of the games in Sioux Falls have kept him in the same system and he's really played extremely well there. So he's earned these kinds of opportunities and probably maybe in some more throughout the course of the season. Overall, we're not able to do enough things offensively. It wasn't only the 3-ball, as I've been saying. Before this game, Swider had not reached double-digit minutes in a game since November 25 against the Brooklyn Nets, where he played 20 and scored 11 points. He really took notice during the Heat's training camp where he was working with Robinson as the 2 share the same strength in their deep ball shooting. It could pay off, but with the continued absence of Robinson, it seems like more minutes and playing time that was once sparse could come plentiful. Star Bam Adebayo has noticed the improvement in the Syracuse product, saying that while he definitely needs more minutes, there has been a clear change in how the game is starting to slow down for Swider. He's gone need more minutes, but I think the game is starting to slow down for Cole. He's starting to understand that he can tell other people what to do. He can tell somebody to run a different play for him, Adebayo said. It comes with confidence. I feel like his confidence is starting to going in the right direction. And that's obviously due to behind the scenes of practice, pre-practice, and getting this work and obviously talking to some of the older vets like Patty and obviously the guy he's emulating in Duncan Robinson. Swider has been waiting patiently to hear his name called by Spoelstra, especially since the very first preseason game of this season where the Heat beat the Charlotte Hornets on October 10. Swider scored 17 points and hit 5 three-pointers in that game and made a very bold claim after, saying that I think I'm one of the best shooters in the world. They just kept on telling me to keep shooting. I have a lot of confidence in myself as a shooter, Swider said. I think I'm one of the best shooters in the world. My teammates kept finding me. However, while the confidence was brewing high then, he was still humbled at the time, saying he wasn't under a contract. Since then, the Heat would sign him to one, but there are now future steps in the journey like getting more playing time. I'm not on a contract still, so there's nothing to be really excited about. If you get to this level, you expect a certain level out of yourself. I think before I might have gotten ahead of myself, Swider said last October. But I just want to keep on stacking one day at a time. Keep on trying to help myself and help this team get to a point where I'm in the rotation and I help this team win. In the most important part of the regular season, as there are 13 games left, Swider could be seeing his most important minutes come in his NBA career so far. His next chance to play will be against the Cleveland Cavaliers on Sunday, as Miami is 38-32, which puts them 7th in the tightly packed Eastern Conference. Heat's Jimmy Butler doesn't back down from bold Pelicans stance despite blowout loss. The matchup Friday night between the Miami Heat and New Orleans Pelicans was anticipated for a lot of reasons, with a big one being that this would be the first time since the two teams got into a physical altercation on February 23. The main stars in the skirmish was Heat star Jimmy Butler and Pelicans forward Najee Marshall, who each plus others were suspended after the game last month. But while Miami got the win then, New Orleans came back and were victorious, 111-88. Butler was asked about the possibility of the Pelicans having a larger chip on their shoulder since they were facing the Heat, which they've had bad blood with. The 34-year-old star says that he hoped it did, and that's fine, but still stands on his words by saying that we're still the better team. I hope it added fuel to the fire. That's fine. They had a great game plan, they made shots. They came here and stole one. I'm going to stick by what I said. We're still the better team, Butler said. You can't win them all. We should have won that one. We damn sure should have. But we'll be all right. After the game in February, Butler was fired up and declared that not only are the Heat a better team than the Pelicans, but the next time they face off on their home floor, they will win. While this isn't out of the ordinary for Butler to be confident, statements like that can backfire if you don't get the result you want. We'll beat them the next time, too, Butler said that night. We're just the better team. We're not going to say that they're not a good team. But I don't think this really matters. I think that when we get them on our home court, it's going to be a different game. I hope they're healthy, and it's going to be the same outcome. Marshall would post on his X, formerly known as Twitter, account a repost of Butler saying these words after Friday's Heat loss and said, "My volume don't work what he say?" The post was later deleted, despite being retweeted by the official Pelicans account on the social media platform. The Pelicans account would also poke fun at Butler by posting the final score and saying, "We're just a better team," which was one of many that night. Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra would comment briefly about the heated altercation and responded if the players are using it to be fueled even more or if they're putting it in the past. Spoelstra would say to Clutch Points that it's in the rearview mirror, as the confrontation is nothing compared to the 90s. "I think it's all behind," Spoelstra said when asked if the past altercation is still in the minds of the players. "This is nothing compared to the 90s, really it was nothing." When it came to the actual game, it was arguably one of the more frustrating nights for the Heat as they had a poor performance in shooting the ball. They shot 36% from the field, but it was even more dreadful from the three-point line as they were 27.7%, missing a season-high 36 attempts from that range, which is also the fifth most in franchise history. Butler would lead the team with 17 points to go along with 5 assists and 4 rebounds, and mentioned how they played better in the first half, but the second half was when they got worse. He mentioned how the poor offense led to the same effort on defense. Heat may get Love back Tuesday versus Warriors, but remains without Harrow and Robinson. After missing the past 13 games with a bruised right heel, Kevin Love is nearing his return for the Miami Heat. Love has been upgraded to questionable for Tuesday's matchup against the Golden State Warriors at Kaseya Center, 7:30 p.m., Bally Sports Sun, the Heat's third game in a 4-game homestand. It marks the first time Love has been upgraded on the injury report since he injured his heel during a February 27 win over the Portland Trail Blazers. Love, 35, has established himself as an effective backup center for the Heat behind starter Bam Adebayo. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Miami Heat? Leave your opinion in the comments.